Wow, I finally fixed my mic quality. I got this brand new mic and didn't know how to properly get the quality right, and we got it. So let's talk about potential level increases in New World. I feel like it's guaranteed. It's gonna happen soon. I'm not sure about that. I kind of think that right now in New World, most likely we'll start getting the first level increase with the first expansion of the game. And I honestly don't believe the first expansion is going to come out until maybe March, maybe? Because it's going to take a while. There's like a lot of stuff they need to work on a little bit. Before level increases, they have to make sure everybody's, in tune with the gear score system, which I'm sure everyone is now. Because obviously with increasing the level to 66, they're also going to increase gear score. That's just like a given. They have to, because like right now the way the game works is, I believe like tier 1 is probably like gear score. I don't even know what low gear scores look like anymore, but like maybe 100 to 200, and 2 is 2 to 3, and then 4 is what, 4 to 5, and then tier 6 or yeah, tier 5 is just like 500 to 600. So yeah, I'm assuming once they start upping the level systems, we're probably gonna hit like 1,000 gear score. And if you have seen at the very beginning of the game, before it launch, or not before it launched, very early on in the game, there was actually an item that was like 1,000 gear score. It was like a glitch, but they definitely did have 1,000 gear score items in the game at one point. So that was a craftable item. Let me get into my trade skill aptitudes. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry, I'm just talking. Now, we've already seen like the leaks that came out probably like a couple months ago just regarding all of the new content dropping. I'm not going to be showing it on screen because I know there is a lot of controversy around like people getting banned for showing, leaked footage or just like glitches in the game and things like that. So we're not getting into that over here. But as you guys probably did see, it's possible. I actually do have an older video that's still up on it. Keep that on the low. But there's a lot of new content coming to the game. They talked about expanding the regions of the map. It's actually interesting. Like if you do look off like into the top parts of the map, you can see like the roads still kind of expand out a little more. I don't know, how much that contributes to new parts of the map, but I'm assuming there will be. Looks like a little bit of different type of sand right here, so I don't know. There's a lot of new stuff that's going to be added into the game, I'm assuming, with the expansion. With the expansion is when they'll probably add the level increase. They didn't start adding level 66 enemies until recently, probably until like that turkey that came up for the Thanksgiving event. That's when like there was like some 66 enemies, and before that there was still like 61, 62, whatever. But they're starting to let us know that the levels are getting higher, and it makes sense in the first place because if you think about it, there's no way you could really continue the game progressing your character without improving the level cap. Because if you don't, then it's like, okay, you can introduce all these new materials, but it's like most likely you're gonna have to up the trade skill levels, if anything. And that's possible too. I'm not sure how much trade skill aptitude is gonna play a role into new materials, just because trade skill aptitude doesn't give you any unlocks at the moment. It only gives you, parcels of stuff that, just little items. So maybe in the future they'll unroll some new type of materials that can only be gotten at certain trade skill aptitudes, but like as of now, there's really no rewards for these besides getting your gypsum. But the current state of the game though is actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, like right now the game has a lot to do. You can log on and get gypsum in like 6 or 7 different ways. Like there's a lot of ways to play the game right now and to get that max level. But one thing that I do think it's lacking just a tad bit is just like, you know, the gear score system is really nice, it's fun, it's it's something to do when you log on, but the fact that you can get that high 590 watermark, but you can still just equip a 590 and like without having to get there, It's kind of like, do I really want to push for my gear score when I can just put the gear on and be fine? You know, it's like, do I really have to push up to get that gear score? Like, do I really want to try to get these legendary drops when, you know, I can just get something just as good on the market? You know, it kind of depends. I think they really need to maybe like add something broken into the game, sadly. But like, you know, Void Bent was popular just because it's, you know, it's full resilient, heavy armor. But it's like, that's OP, it's cool, but it's not like, you know, anything game breaking. I think, you know, every popular MMO or game out there has an item that's like everybody wants it. Like right now when it comes to gear is kind of like, you know, you can make anything really work. You don't have to have full void bent. You can go and get a full heavy set that has resilient on it. Like it doesn't have to be void bent. So right now it seems like there's no powerhouse items in the game. When they start introducing that is when I think the game will start getting crazy. Maybe like, you know, some different type of weapons that are beyond legendary. Like maybe it's like a pink type of weapon, like a pink slotted weapon that's like increased all damages by 10% flat or something crazy. Like there needs to be something like that into the game, and I'm sure they're probably working on things like that with expansions and all that. Maybe new modes, arena modes, definitely something people are gonna ask for. 2v2s, 4v4s. I'm not sure about 1v1s because they already have duels, but things like that for types of awards. I think those are really gonna be big players when it comes to expanding the game. But right now, I don't think the game is in a bad spot. PvE wise, PvP wise, I think there needs to be more diversity. Right now, there's just Outpost Rush Wars. Um, yeah, open world PvP. This really isn't like, you know, the funnest thing to do because there's not a lot of people running around open world doing PvP. There is, but like most of them are in farming spots just to have their luck up. So if you do see them, they're just gonna run away from you. They're not gonna want to fight you. So it's not really easy to get into those open world fights right now. You know, one of the craziest things I don't really think about is that this game has been out since like September. So it's only been like 3 months or so since the game has been out. Like it hasn't been long at all. There's a lot of like YouTube channels talking about, oh, is the game dying? Is the game dying? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, yo, it's been 3 months. And even like for a trash MMO, like for trash MMOs, like they'll last at least a year with the player base that's committed, you know, to making the game good again. So when it comes down to this game backed by Amazon and all this money, it's kind of like I really think that people are gonna stick around. I feel like the developers are really gonna, you know, put some time into it. I'm sure they have money. So it's like right now, I think this game is very early stages. Like they can add so much to the game. I'm thinking, you know, in-game raids or like, you know, obviously opening up the map. Mounts don't seem impossible, but supposedly in the lore, they're saying that like animals can't be tamed in this, you know, world, whatever we're in. So I'm not exactly sure if they do add mounts, how that would work, if they're like some type of vehicle or something, even though like those don't even exist in this kind of game. But I'm not exactly sure. But one thing that I do know is that this game can go really far. You know, there's a lot of people, I feel like when it comes to YouTube and just the internet in general, like negativity sells. So when people drop those big videos like, yo, New World falling off, blah blah blah, player base this, player count that, like I just feel like that's what people eat up because they want the game to fail. But like, you know, I kind of want the game to win. Like, you know, this is what I do. This is the game that I'm playing right now. I really don't feel like switching over to another game. If you have seen my channel, like I've uploaded probably 3 or 4 games before this. And this is probably like the most responsive one. I like the community on this game. Everything is, you know, it's there for you. Unlike other games, you really gotta, you know, find that community. This is an MMO. The community is literally in the chat, you know, so it's like, you know, tell me what you guys think would be like the #1 thing they could do in this game to improve it again. Because like, it's, you know, I feel like, I kind of feel like the players that have left the game weren't really interested in the first place. Because people that were really interested in the game are still playing it. Like, I was really interested in the game when before it came out, all the leaks and everything. Like, as soon as the game came out, I don't have any intentions on not playing it just because I know that the game is early, you know, early processes. I know the game is in the early stages right now. I know that there's a lot that can be done to it, so it's like I'm waiting it out, and I know it can be good. Like one of my favorite MMOs was ESO, and look at that game, it's still going on. Like I played ESO when it came to console, not even when it was on PC yet. So like the game has been thriving for a long time. And granted, ESO is insane. Like it's a really good game, and they have a lot of things they need to fix too, even up to this day. So you probably just gotta assume that, you know, there's always gonna be changes that need to be fixed in games. Like they're never gonna be perfect in the first place. So if you really want a game to last, you just stick through it. Also, I think this game's combat system is still very good. I think the combat in this game isn't bad at all. When it comes to combat, I think it has everything that it needs to be really good. Like, you know, they're introducing new weapons. There's a lot of different variables. I'm still learning how to make builds in this game. Like, I believe that this game is actually really more versatile than I thought it was with what you can do. Like, you can, like, you know, in ESO, I'm gonna compare it to ESO just because ESO is my favorite MMO. ESO had the game to where you could play any class, you can use any weapon, and still play any role you wanted at the same time. Like ESO was super diverse in the game, and honestly, this game isn't too far off. Like if I really wanted to, I could be a healer and do DPS. I could tank and DPS, which is kind of like what I'm doing right now. Um, I know it's just a hammer and axe meta, but it works. It's fun. It sucks that it is, but this is what's fun right now in the game. It works. I don't always plan on using this. I've been using every single build in this game. I've ran through everything. I've done all types of combinations. I don't know anything that I haven't done yet. Okay, I know things I haven't done yet. I'm not gonna use like a bow and a hammer, but like, you know, there's a lot of stuff in this. Ooh, bow and hammer. I might try that out. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this game that still could potentially work. You know, when it comes to diversity of builds, you don't have to stick with just a strength tree, just a dexterity tree. You can do strength and dexterity, and you can still make it work. But obviously, one thing right now that I do think is kind of hindering is the fact that your health pool isn't that high, so you always have to have points in the Constitution, or you just get melted on. If anything though, I think um I think that glass cannon mages are super good. You really don't need any constitution. You just stay back and melt people from behind. Like they really don't have a chance. But other than that, I believe that you're always going to need about 150 constitution, or at least 100 to be, you know, like putting in some work in PvP, especially open world. If you're open world and you don't have at least 150 constitution, you're just gonna get, you know, a musket shot to the back, you know, out of nowhere from someone, and you're just, there's nothing you can do about it. So you always need constitution. That's one thing that kind of sucks. Obviously they do have the potions that buff you up. Maybe you can drop down your constitution a little bit and use a potion to supplement, but it's like, do you really want to have to keep crafting potions just to have a good sustainable build, you know? But if one thing they have right now that's going good for them in this game is community. There's a lot of people that are really talkative in this game, a lot of people organizing good things, you know, chess runs, portal runs, all that. So it's like a lot of this game is thrived around the community. I think if they added more things, you know, that keep the community together, that's going to be really good for us. They don't have a queue system in the game, and I don't know, you know, like they say a queue system takes away immersion, and I'm not really sure, you know, like I feel like I connect with people with a queue system too. I feel like if I'm in a game that doesn't have a queue system, like New World, I do feel immersed though. I do feel immersed. But if they had a but if they did have a queue system, I wouldn't be against it. I think it would make things go by so much quicker. To be completely honest, I have not done an expedition in this game since before 60. Like, cause you like, I just haven't. You have to pay for it. Like everyone's making you charge 2.4k gold just to get in. Like right here in the chat, you can't see it, but you know, looking for one DPS, 2.5k for a tank, 2k for gen run. Like It's crazy, really. But that's just the way it is, because it's based off community. There's no, we're the ones organizing it. It's like what is it called? Anyone takes economics? I think it's probably like an open market. Is that correct? I could be completely wrong, but I'm just saying the game is really open for the players to decide what to do. So it's kind of like we have control over a lot, but I don't know if that's good. Maybe we should take some of that control back a little bit and just let us have a little queue time or something, but other than that little stuff, I'm excited to see where the game is gonna go, because I know the expansion of this game is gonna be big. It has to be. Like, I'm already seeing with the updates they have now with the winter event, they're really good at introducing new points of interest. They're starting to take into account holiday events and just events in general is what I really like when it comes to MMO. Just those random events that keep the game fresh, something new, a new point of interest on the map. And I know they're going to do that really big in this game. And I'm really hoping that the expansion is just mind-blowing. So obviously we've seen with new updates comes more problems, but that's going to be something we're just have to get used to. Keep playing through the game. I like how they're adding new weapons also. That's going to be something super fun to keep the game fresh. New different types of PvP going on. So there's a lot of stuff coming to the game. I'm excited for it. Someone on YouTube is going to make a video talking about why the game is going to fall off. They can go ahead and do that. I don't really care. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I want to see how you guys feel about this also, like the direction of the game and where it's headed right now. I think it's not in a bad position. It started off rocky, I'm not gonna lie, but it's only been 3 months. Like, come on now, it hasn't been long. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you like this video in any way, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit up that comment section. Tell me what you guys want to see coming up in this game. Tell me what kind of stuff you like to see change. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and I'll catch you guys later.
In the nighttime, it get tricky. Mess with me, we send that boy straight to whoop. Straight to the backseat. Put him work up in the nighttime and it's getting tricky. I put my sweat and my tears in this bitch, so I swear to God it's getting busy.